G'day YouTube, how you going? Right, today what we're going to be looking at is looking at the filing cabinet. Okay. These filing cabinets I have acquired through the curbside cleanup. I've collected a few of them actually. But yeah, they're pretty good, they work quite well. I've already put my stuff in them. But anyway, the problem is the handles. That's about buggered. Broken, I should say. One at the bottom here, there is no handle on that one. This red one on the other side, it does have two handles. They are quite good. So my choice was I'm going to make a handle for at least that one anyway. The style of handle that I was looking originally at was this one here to match the filing cabinet, but I thought about it and really I could do it, but it'd take me a fair bit of work to do, is to basically copy that one. Okay, a handle that would be easier for me to copy would be like those silver ones there. Alright, now the thing is that what sort of plastic are we going to use? The biggest problem we have is when we actually are using these straps, is the fact that when you put it in the oven it expands. It expands. So the way to do it is, the best I've found is that we'll grab a bunch, put that down there. So what we do is we grab a bunch, and what we do is we tie them up. Try and do a big bunch. This is just a small bunch as an example. Alright, it didn't work out well at all, did it? Okay, so that's basically, that's what a bunch is, like that, or a bigger bunch. Let's see if I make a bigger bunch. Hold on. Depends on what colour you want to use. Alright, there's our bunch. So all we need to now do is tie it up. What I do is do a circle, put it over the top. Like a shoelace. Alright, so there we go. We have a bunch ready to go. And if you want to, all you can do is snip off these long extra ones, or just wrap them up, or poke them in. And there you go, a bunch done. Just cut off the excess ones that are poking out. Then we can always add those in. You know, stick the first lot in. Okay, that's the first lot of these straps melting down. So my whole aim is to try and fill the container full of the these straps. I have plenty of white, but what you could do is, if you wanted to, you could separate out the different colours, and you get solid bits of red. Yeah, I like the red on that one. It's pretty good. The good thing about plastic is you can stick it in there and it'll melt again. Now to prepare another one. What we do is we grab a pile, and all we do is we fold it over and over and over and over again. Just like that. Don't worry about these struggling. Don't worry too much about these edge pieces. We'll cut those off. Now all we do is we need to create a loop. Then all we do is stick that over the top. So what we're doing is we're just trying to hold it together while it melts. This is the best way that I've found to do it. Right, that's pretty much one done. Another one done, I should say. Okay, with these extra bits here, just trim those off. And there you go, another one done. Grab another pile, do the same. You could probably make it as big as you like, but if you do it in like smaller bits like I'm doing, you can actually put certain bits in. Creating the circle now, the loop I should say. Probably best to tie it when it's on. Okay. All we do is we cut off the straggling bits. Doesn't have to be too scientific. Just as long enough as you can stick it in the oven. That is. Right. Just put the second lot in and you can watch it melt now. Just want to move it so it's actually in the container. First bit. Now for the second bit. Well, I mean third bit. Just got to watch that those end pieces don't actually go over and down into the heating element. I'll have to get a better light. The first bit's right there, that white one. That's melting quite nicely. It's actually quite cool watching it melt down. Occasionally when you put in a new one, what happens is the little strands like pop up because they're melting down, so the tension that is on them is to pop up, then it quickly gets into the heat, then it melts down. It's quite fun to watch, actually. Sort of therapeutic in a way. I've just put another one in, so you have a look at it move and shrink and shrivel. In the background here you can see the very first one that we put in. It's right down the bottom here. It started to melt and spread. Just making sure that it just stays within the boundaries of the container. Well, I'm getting thermal losses, so what I'm going to do is close the lid. Well, the door anyway. Start to see it go now, look. It will take a while to melt this down. If they're all smaller pieces, then it'd probably be a quicker process. They're all the big bits that have gone. All the rest is just all conjobulated now, and it'll just melt. Actually, the oven's up a bit high at the moment, but basically you can actually see the nice melted spread that it's doing, or the flow. Anyway, so what I got to do is I've finished that that crate that I had. So now I need to start another crate, and we'll continue. We're getting close to the top of our mould. I'll keep going. And the little off-cut pieces that you cut off from the big bunch, you just stick those in. Just be careful you don't burn yourself. Watch those have a dance. Speed it up. There you go. We're about up to the level that we're actually going to go to. As you can see, it is a little bit burnt on the top. And it is a bit burnt along here. It looks like the temperature was up a bit too high, but I was just going to put the leave the burnt bit towards the back. All we do is we just cut that off. Anyway, so we'll just keep going at the moment. Just got to wait for that to melt down, and I think I might just leave that as is. Then once that cools down, I'll try and get it out, and we'll try and do another one at a lower temperature. Yeah. Anyway, that's what we're up to at the moment. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for this bit here to melt down. Once that melts down, there'll be air pockets in here. So we'll probably cook it for another hour, and then the air pockets should probably escape. Anyway, that's what we're up to. I've just taken our plastic cake out of the oven. The oven has been turned off, and it is basically in the cool down period now. Well, actually, I tell a lie. It's basically almost cooled down. You can see gaps on either side of the mould. It's almost time for it to actually come out, actually. All I need to do is just tip it over and it'll fall out. Still quite warm to the touch, actually. So that looks pretty cool. As I said before, we do have a few burnt spots. And on the top here, it's just the top surface there. And a couple of little bits around here. There. Hey YouTube, this is the second one that I've done. What I'm showing you is the bubbles. Okay, you have a look here, that's a bubble, bubble, bubble. So what happens is when it settles, the bubbles will come up. They'll work their way from the bottom up to the top. That way what happens is if you layer it, say if you put a white layer, a red no, sorry, strike that. If you put a red layer at the bottom, a white layer at the top, when the bubbles come up from the bottom to the top, they mix the colours. Sometimes you can get really cool effects. It's just because the air is trapped in pockets of the plastic. It depends on how you lay the plastic in the container. So if you lay the plastic straight, like straight that way, it won't have air pockets. Well, it will a little bit, but if you time up into balls the plastic, and what happens is the air pockets are trapped at the bottom, and that's when you finish melting. Well, actually, as you're actually melting it, what happens is the air bubbles will slowly rise to the top, and then mix the colours. It's a pretty cool effect. Anyway, basically what we need to do is we need to cook it probably for another hour or so, or until these bubbles stop.